No sound. Right, I've got sound now. Yes, it's done. It's done. He's been Lopetegui has officially been sacked by West Ham on a sort of immediate effect, where the club have posted it on their social medias that Lopetegui is no longer going to be in charge of West Ham, and it has been reported that Graham Potter has signed a 2.5-year deal for the club. So very, very interesting. I am relieved. I am absolutely relieved. Nikki should be joining me shortly. And they dragged it out. They made an absolute meal of it. They really did. They should have just done it. Forget about it. They should have done it months ago. Like, at the very least, when they decided they definitely were going to sack him and started talking to Potter, they should have sacked him at the start of the week. They should have done it. But they didn't. They wanted to sort of call managers behind Lopetegui's back in case we couldn't get someone, and what, we just keep him after he knows we're looking at other people. And Lopetegui, full credit to him. He has my full respect because, you know, knowing that he still turned up for it, he still took the training and all of that. And yeah, that's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. There's a lot of managers that wouldn't do that. A lot of managers, knowing that they're about to be sacked, wouldn't turn up. So yeah, he's handled himself, I think, with dignity for the whole time at West Ham. It just didn't work out. It just was never, ever, ever the right fit. Ever. So, look, I'm not going to cry too many waterworks for him because he's about to get 18 months worth of money for nothing. And how many of us can do a bad job, get the sack, and get paid off for, you know, a few years worth of money? None of us, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, wish him all the best going forward. But Graham Potter, how are we feeling about Graham Potter? I'm cautiously optimistic, I want to say. Cautiously optimistic. I think we should see a much better brand of football. That is key. New manager to lift the dark cloud from over the head of these players. A new coach to come in. We have had serious coaching issues under Lopetegui. Can Graham Potter fix it? I know the fans are going to have a field day with Harry Potter puns and memes. Oh, we're going to have fun with that. But I hope we actually have fun on the pitch. I hope we have fun watching our team again, because it has been a horrid season. Now, we have to temper our expectations for Graham Potter for the rest of the season, I feel. We desperately need pace in this side. If we're going to give Potter the tools he needs to play how he wants, we need pace. We are desperately need it. We are a slow, aging squad. So the club wanted to sign him on a 6-month deal. It seems because of Everton have come in and they were interested in Potter, it seems the club have caved. The club's caved in and given him what he wants. And it was David Ornstein has revealed that it is a 2.5-year deal. So I believe there are most likely clauses in there. Should we get relegated, I think we can part ways, which is smart. So it's going to be interesting as well to see what his backroom staff is going to be, because I see Sean Whetstone reported that a lot of his backroom staff are in jobs. So he's going to need a fresh backroom staff, which is going to be very interesting. Xavi Valera, the goalkeeping coach, stays. He's been here since Pellegrini's era. I think it's like that guy from Office Space, where maybe he's been sacked, but he just keeps turning up for work. You don't realize he's not in the job anymore, or he's just gone under the radar. But yeah, and it's now being reported by The Guardian that there are growing doubts over Tim Steidten's future at West Ham following the sacking of Lopetegui, which I think is mad. It's mad that we're thinking about getting rid of Steidten. If you haven't got a clear replacement coming in, you can say he's better. Get him in. He's gonna do brilliant for us. If you haven't got that, then keep him. He gets deals over the line. Let him go and get these players for Potter. Potter obviously knows European football. So does Steidten. It's a no-brainer. We'd be mad to get rid of him. That's what I'm saying. Potter had the likes of Tony Bloom to work under at Brighton. It's not work out under bloody that clown Sullivan and get players in. Ferguson, that's a shout. We're obviously linked with Ferguson from Brighton. Obviously, I think he's injured at the moment. That's the problem, his injury record. But I would take him on a loan. And obviously, he's worked with Potter giving his debut. And someone makes a good point. Kevin Keane. Yes, Dad's Our Job podcast. Shout out to them. Yeah, Kevin Keane could be Potter's assistant. They played with each other at Stoke. So, yeah, we'd have to obviously then replace Kevin Keane's role. But, yeah, that's going to be the job now. And that is, I wonder how much, how much in terms of the not having the coaching staff ready to come in, that is going to affect us because he wants to take training straight away. He wants to be in the dugout for Villa. So not having his coaching staff available that he wants, how much of an impact is that going to have? We may have to promote some from the youth. This is a good question, Dan. I was looking back at Potter's history at Brighton and didn't score much. Is that because of the players you had? They had, you think? Yeah, I think so, because if you look, I believe they had a lot of expected goals. They created a lot of chances, and it was their finishing that seemed to be the problem. They didn't have the players like the Pedros and players like that they've got now. So I do believe that it comes down to finishing because they are creating a lot of chances. They were under Potter. So let's hope with the players that we've got, we need some pace still up front. Füllkrug, I think Füllkrug can come good for us. Ings, but still, they're both two strikers in their 30s that we need to create for. Now, if we create more chances, then we're creating more for Füllkrug. If he can unlock Füllkrug, get the team playing to him and delivering the ball for him, then we can see the best out of Füllkrug and we can actually score some goals because he is a proper finisher. And Ings is a proper finisher, really. But at the same time, that young, pacey striker, I believe, is a must. It is going to be so... Unlock Cornet. That might be a step too far. I don't think anyone's got the keys. I think the key's been broken in the lock and it might be a step too far. But this is going to be the exciting thing now to see what he can get out of the players that we've got. Somerville, like having exciting player like Somerville, how can he thrive under Graham Potter? You know, Kudus. Can we see Kudus at his best and even a step up? You know, Paqueta, these players. Bowen, when he comes back, it's such a shame Bowen's injured at the moment. You know, there are all these sorts of players that you wonder about and you think, yeah, what can we see? Soler, maybe we can see Soler cement his place. These ball-playing players. So I was watching... I can't remember what it was, a video about Potter, and they was sort of suggesting, I think it was James Alcott, shout out to James, suggesting that players the likes of Souček these days could be numbered under a Graham Potter because he's not a ball-playing midfielder, really, the type of player he is. And we just got to be ruthless. Listen, whoever is the best fit, that's what matters. Best fit. And yes, we deserve a new manager bounce. I can't remember the last time we had a new manager bounce. Was it Moyes? Was the Brighton game directly after Moyes was appointed, or did we have Liverpool and get bad? I can't remember if we had a new manager bounce under David Moyes. But yeah, we haven't seen too many of those. We've been on the other end of a lot of new manager bounces. It's about time we bounce on someone's head, and that's Villa's head with that new manager bounce. And Fulham. Let's continue the bounce. What formation does he like playing? I believe he likes playing a back five. So probably a 5-2-3. Yeah, a 5. I can't remember what it is. All I know is he plays a 5 at the back. I had a brain freeze there. But yeah, which at the moment we're going to need the transfer window because we play a back 5 or 3-4-3, as Ben says. Again, it's a back 5 or 3. It's the same thing. It's a 5 out of possession. It's a 3 in possession. So in terms of the three centre backs, I mean, we have three centre backs unless we're promoting youngsters, So you've got Todibo, Kilman, and Mavropanos. So if we're going to play that, we're going to need more centre backs, unless we are promoting youth, which he is known for doing, which is exciting. Then you've got, in terms of fullbacks, could he potentially play Creswell as a centre back? It's not ideal, but as a backup centre back, which he has played as in a back five before Creswell. Could he play Soufal there, which we've seen? So yeah, Chelsea fans, they can laugh, right? But at the end of the day, surely they have awareness of how much of an absolute mess their club was when he come into it. It's not like they were great before Potter, that period with like the Lampards and players and managers like that. And then after Potter, Pochettino was the same thing. It just took time. When you spend £1 billion on players and all of these players are so young, that's going to take time. They didn't have ready-made. They signed so many at the same time. It was just completely disjointed. Some people have said that about our team. I still think we had a spine there, a good core of players that were brilliant. And that was my issue with Sullivan. I could argue that, maybe it is the signs have got a gel and all of that, but it was the current crop of players that we've had the past few years that we've seen play well regress. That's the problem. Those players that we've been used to relying on, the Bowen, he hasn't been as good this season. Kuda's not been as good this season. Paqueta not been as good as this season. Emerson's not been as good this season. Alvarez actually put his hands up and said, yeah, I've not been as good. I need to improve, which you always like to see. You can't improve if you don't acknowledge you need to improve. So good on Alvarez. So yeah, and Dave, this is exactly what I was saying. Potter will be good for us, and don't expect miracles from the start. No more wallowing and moaning and groaning all the time from various podcasts. You know who you are. I might be a bit close to home there, Dave. Yeah, look, this is the thing. Nicky's still munching chocolate. He's on his way home, he says. He's on his way home to jump on. So he did ring me up before. But yeah, honestly, if I see him munching that chocolate, I might just lose it. But yeah, so Jody, some online websites are saying he likes a 4-2-3-1 for more control of the game too, maybe due to the squad. But yeah, that's it. I think he's quite flexible, Potter. So I don't think it's going to be coming in and it's, 5 at the back or nothing. So there could be a chance to play a 4-2-3-1, which a lot of these players are used to playing under Moyes. It will just be the approach to games that's different. So, but yeah, no, like we are going to have to try and be a bit more patient. We're not just going to be able to, get him out. This is the thing with Lopetegui. It weren't so much about I did want to give him time. Usually I like to give managers a season, right? So I was like, okay, you got your season. I did that with Pellegrini, we finished 10th. It was just the lack of any sort of progress and identity. I couldn't see what he was trying to do. And listen, maybe that's on me and I'm just not clued up enough, but I don't think anyone could. That's the problem. I don't think anyone could see what he was really trying to do. And it just didn't click. And you're hearing all these reports of bust-ups in the back. And you just I can't see how that was tenable. So he needed to go. So if Potter comes in, and look, we're not setting the league alight or anything like that. We could just see something, we're playing better. We can see some progress, and maybe we're leaking some goals, and we've got to sort that out. The defense needs to be fixed, and that I'm not expecting to be an overnight fix. My volume is always... Oh, really? Sorry, guys. I'll fix my volume. Thank you for telling me. Tell me if that's better. Sorry. I'm not expecting our defense to be fixed overnight, but we can't be leaking goals at the rate we are. We just simply cannot, because last year, from the Moyes period to the Lopetegui period, the amount of games was getting battered by 4 or more goals. It was horrendous. So just reported by the Mirror, Lopetegui had a compensation clause in his contract, meaning he's entitled to get a year's worth of salary, totaling up to 3.3 million. So don't cry too hard for Lopetegui. He's getting just over 3 mil for nothing, for not doing a good job. So don't cry for him, and he'll be all right. He'll be all right. I wish him the best, but yeah, jeez, it is. Yeah, the Steidten out. What are people thinking about Steidten going? Some people just hate him. Some people really hate Steidten, and I think that comes down to the Moyes thing. You know, it comes down to if you loved Moyes, it seems if you really loved Moyes, you hated Steidten because I think people blame Steidten for Moyes not being around him, which I think it's a bit childish if you're not judging him just solely on the job he does. I don't care. You know, someone said to me like about Sullivan and protests and you know, oh, if you don't like him, then you should always be protesting. And I said I don't care if I like Sullivan. I do not care if he's likable at all. The most important thing, anyone in their job, just do a good job. That's what I care about at West Ham. I don't care if I like you. Just do the best job you can. And Steidten, I don't think had done a bad job. I don't think he's done a bad. I don't think we can say it. I don't think, and there's a few comments there, but I don't think we can hand on heart say Steidten has failed in his signings. I don't think the proof is there. If anyone can say to me, Steidten has done a poor job because these players are crap, then, you know, feel free. I'll disagree because I don't think the players are crap. And maybe we'll find out. Maybe now we've got a new coach in, the players the players have got a lot more spotlight. Can I get a my bad at least? All right. I take the L on the Lopetegui weak manager thing, all of that. All right. He was a coach, so actually I shouldn't say that because you said he was a weak manager, but he was a coach, so you were wrong. He wasn't a weak manager, he was a weak coach. But yeah, so let me see. Joe's got an interesting comment. Steidten has fallen out with two managers now. Is it more likely that he's a bit of a prick or both Moyes and Lop are? Do you know what I think it comes down to? In both situations now, I don't think it's necessarily falling out. If you know your job's on the line, and this guy, he's responsible for, he's responsible for finding your replacement, then you're not going to want them around. You're going to be friendly to them because this person, is looking to replace you. At the end of the day. So I don't know the manner of which they're falling out. All we know is that both times he was asked not to come to training because it was conflict of interest. So that conflict of interest is probably, I'm trying to do a job and you want to replace me. Now, he's come in. He was brought in to do a job with Moyes, who was a manager. Moyes believed in being the manager. He believed that he should have the control over who comes in. He should choose the players. That was his belief. It was never going to work. It doesn't matter who it was. Tim Steidten, Dan Ashworth, Edu, anyone you think of, that would never work. So Moyes had to go on that basis, not Tim's fault. Now, Lopetegui comes in. I believe he didn't want Lopetegui, and that's what I've been told. He didn't want Lopetegui. I believe he wanted Ruben Amorim. Sullivan vetoed it, and he went, okay, Lopetegui, and then went with it. He just went with it, but he never wanted him. That's what I believe. So now it pans out the way we all saw it pan out. He's saying we need to change, which we were all saying. So how can we he's acting in our interest. He's saying what we're saying. So how can we have a pop at Steidten for falling out with Lopetegui because he wants to get rid of him when we're all saying the same thing? That's what we want him to do. We want someone that makes the right decisions. But Sullivan doesn't let him make these decisions. That is the problem. He's operating with one hand tied behind his back. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Yes, Xavi as he has lasted here. Like I said, I don't know how he's with our goalkeeping situation as well. I do question whether we do need a fresh goalkeeping coach, but good on him. I won't advocate he gets sacked. He's 7 years now. He's been here. Moyes was crap at buying players. This is the thing, and like him and David Sullivan together really dithered on players, and we missed out on some real gems. And he brought some good players in. Obviously, look, Jared Bowen was a great signing that he brought in. I think who else would you say that he's brought in that was brilliant? Emerson, credit to him on that. Souček, Soufal. At the time, we got to say great signings for that Moyes made, but you know we just needed someone else, you know, who can find value like the direction. And the thing, you know, the difference is with Steidten, he got the players over the line. We had a serious person that people wanted to deal with, not David Sullivan. You know, so that was brilliant. Irons 11 499 super chat, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that, mate. Hello, mate. You made a fair point. As long as there is some progress in our football, then hopefully the goals will follow. Yeah, you need something. You need something. You can't just operate on blind faith and optimism and hope it gets better, because that's not how things work. You need some signs. You need some evidence of improvement. Craig Dawson worked out well. Yeah, that really did. I think it's one of the things of Craig Dawson really suited how we played. You know, I think that's what it come down to. It's Craig Dawson in a Lopetegui's high line would have been a disaster. Yeah, hopefully, we don't see Kudus on the left ever again. Will Prowse is way better than Guido Rodriguez. I'm going to give, even Rodriguez, right? I'm giving every player now a fresh start, clean slate. They all have a chance now to prove that they are good, and it was the coach. That's their job. Whether it was true or not, they have that clean slate to prove. So it's all on them, really and truly, to prove themselves now. Areola needs to come back in. Well, I think because Fabianski's been injured, I don't know if Fabianski's ready to come back. Can Aguerd come back? That's a shout. We could have done with him. I don't think we can any chance of us recording him now. But I would like to see him get another chance under Graham Potter next season, for sure. Absolutely. You know, I think what he's doing, and we saw the talent there, but he's just not that backs to the wall type of defender like a Craig Dawson is a Aguerd. I think he struggled in that department. So if we want ball playing centre backs, I think he is great. And Kilman as well. I think Kilman, he hasn't been great, but I think he's been hung out to dry in a lot of games. You look at a lot of these goals that we've conceded, and when he's been playing, he's just been left completely isolated in the box. So, I would like to. I'm looking forward to seeing him back to his best, because he's great with the ball to his feet. You know, we see it against Palace. I feel sorry for Lopetegui. I bought a really incompetent. I do feel sorry to a degree, but I think that 3.3 million quid is going to ease the pain. It's really going to ease the pain. Aguerd, Kilman, and Todibo pivot. Yeah, look, if we are, that's a shout. That is a shout. If we are going to play this 3 centre backs, that's a pretty exciting combo. You know, I would like to see that. Seen Hwang Hee-chan in the mix, but would I take him over Ferguson? Do you know what? I would be tempted to take Hwang Hee-chan over Ferguson just because of Ferguson's injury record. I like Hwang Hee-chan. I think he's a decent player, and if the pricing was all right, Yeah, I think he like as a short-term option, not as the solution up front. We're gonna have to temper our expectations in the transfer market. You know, then who do you think Potter will not use in our squad? Well, I think in terms of, it's hard to say who he won't use altogether, but I think there are players like Souček that you'll see maybe in a reduced role. Probably Danny Ings won't get too much of a chance, I don't expect. Rodriguez, I think, will probably be very limited. We may end up selling him. Creswell, unless he is played as a third centre-back, I don't think we'll see much of Creswell still. Hopefully we get to see Emerson back. That'd be great. I'll get rid of Emerson and play Somerville. And yes, that's a good point, because if we are playing a wing-back system, you will probably see Emerson can play wing back though. Emerson can play wing back. He played there for Chelsea as a wing back, so he can play as a wing back. But then you've got Somerville. The only thing is if we are expecting Somerville to support the defensive side of being a wing back, help the centre backs, that's probably not going to be a thing, But Wan-Bissaka as a wing back, yeah, he can. I think he can work very well in that regard. I just think Somerville would make a great wing back. I think in terms of his pace, getting up and down, I agree. But if we are asking him to do any defensive duties, he hasn't got the physicality for it. Whether he can, put in a good little tackle or something, that's another thing. But Emerson, I think, will be a good wing back on that left-hand side. And it's tough because obviously if we play that formation, there are some good players that are going to suffer, that are going to sit out, whether it is a Somerville or a Paqueta. That's going to be the thing. I don't think Potter will change captain. I don't think he will. I can't see it. Could you imagine? That would not go down well. That is, if he come in, right, Bowen, one of our star players, face of the club, we're taking the captaincy off you, we're putting it on Kilman. That would not go down well. So I don't think he would do it. I would advise him not to do that. I don't know what you all think. I know a lot of people are saying, Bowen ain't a great captain, and but this is the thing. Souček is a better captain than Bowen, maybe, but Souček's, we don't know what role he's going to have in this side. We don't know how much he's going to play week in, week out. So is anyone from WHF TV away to Villa on Friday? I need to check with Nikki. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully Nikki is supposed to be joining me. So yeah, you can't give it just, even if you can say Souček's a better captain, even if you say Bowen's not a good captain, then just imagine the morale of taking the captaincy off Bowen. You've just come in, one of our more senior players, you strip him of the captain. Does anyone think that would be a good idea? Forget about whether you think he's a good captain or not. Antonio, the forgotten man, I guess. Apparently he's been doing light physio work, but look, we're not going to see him this season. I didn't think we'd see him again at West Ham. Could you imagine? Listen, I would love to see it. Not that I want us to be relying on Antonio, but it would be nice. Imagine seeing him come on, get all the applause, and playing a West Ham shirt again. However, we still need to sign the striker. I love Souček, but the man has bad English. I can't barely understand him in interviews. I mean, that's not a bad point, Matt. That's not a bad point. Communication is key. Doesn't his contract run out at the end of the year, Antonio? That's a good point. Antonio, yeah, this might be his last season. Antonio contract. Let's have a look at that. Antonio contract. On January 2022, he signed a 2.5-year contract. So, yeah, it runs out at the end of the season. So that is going to be the interesting thing to see if the club give him an extension. He has the option to extend. So if he has the option to extend, he's going to extend it. You know what I mean? Because not many clubs are going to give him a chance. Really, like after the injury, not because of anything that he done. Antonio will be back. We won't get another striker. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh! Oh, Antonio's back. It's like a new signing. That's what they'll say. It's like a new signing. The club needs to activate it. Okay, the club needs to activate his option. So look, as long as we're getting another striker, I wouldn't mind to see him get that year activated and go out like that. Bring Delap in. I don't think that's possible in January. I don't think anyone's getting him in January, but the competition for him in the summer is going to be steep. I can see Spurs going in for him potentially. I know they've got Solanke, but and then Richarlison, depends what happens with Richarlison, but they could. I think there'll be a few going for him. Everton will probably go for him. And, I'm glad as well, Potter was linked with the Everton job as well. And everyone was telling me, he's going to go Everton. He's going to go Everton. So we got our man. And they're linked with Jose. So, love Jose, but that's not going to work. Potter's team's played nice, but never scored. I think that's personnel, mate. I think that's personnel because they created a lot of chances and just didn't stick it in the back of the net. Duran's not playing. Aubameyang on a loan option. He signed him for Chelsea. Did he sign him for Chelsea, Potter? No, he was. I'm sure he was. He was already there. Yeah, that was like years. I don't think he did sign him for Chelsea, Potter. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was before that he signed. I think it's probably. Listen, I thought Aubameyang. You asked me like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Bloody hell, beat your hand off. I don't know in terms of Aubameyang. He isn't. The problem is with Aubameyang. If we sign him, he's another forward that needs to be. We need to create for. He can't create for himself. We need to put things on a plate. Shout out Dan United. Yes, all this. I genuinely feel like this is the perfect match. Is the director of football in on this, or is it a Sullivan deal? I believe it's a Karen Brady deal. Karen Brady seems to be the one pushing for this. Maybe she'll be our new director of football. Do you know what? It's so funny. A lot of Man United fans have been very positive about this. I've heard such positive things. I know he was heavily linked with the job in the summer, and I think Man United fans wanted him to replace Ten Hag at the time. So, Steidten could be on his way out. So maybe Brady will replace him. We just need to hope that she's friends with all the players' wives that we want to get. That's what it needs to come down to, because that's what it was. She was friends with Potter's wife. No. Callum Wilson, if we do that, no. If he does that, honestly, all this joy and excitement, gone. If we sign Callum Wilson in 2025. Unbelievable. Ivan Toney, people are talking about some names. There are names we need. Mainu is available. Daniel, that's not going to like that. Yeah, they are they're in a financial situation where they need to raise funds, I think. But we ain't got the funds to sign no Kobe Mainu. We ain't got it. They don't want to sell him. I think, I was saying this to Dan in the group chat, I think they are probably putting him in the shop window in the hope someone would pay a lot of money for him. There are players like some of them young players, they need to sell to buy. So they're thinking, right, that's pure profit. If we sell a Kobe Mainu, that's pure profit. That will massively help their FFP and what they can do in the transfer market. So I think they probably are looking to sell, but for a very strong price. You're not going to get them on a cut price deal. Nothing that we can afford. That is the problem. Loan for Rashford. I'd take him on a loan. I've been seeing what actually Dan thinks, but I would take him on loan. Not us paying his whole 250 grand a week wages or whatever he's on. Stay away from that if he's playing. If we're paying him all of that money. But that is the thing. At least now as well, we've got Potter in done. We can focus on our transfer. Our transfer window can actually start now because it's clearly been on hold while we've been sorting this mess out. I'm not confident because Sullivan's in charge of it. So that is the issue. Right. Let me see. Costa Rama, are you watching this? Is this a wind-up? Because he's reported another thing here saying West Ham are currently negotiating compensation for Carl McCauley with Chelsea. Tim Steidten is expected to support in the January window with his unceremonious release coming before the season ends. So, Costa Hammer, if you're watching, tell me if that's a wind-up. He's attributed it to Keen Knees Up Brother Brand. Same bloke he was on a wind-up with the Jose report. So, yeah, we was talking about coaching staff. So I guess he's looking to try and get some compensation for just. So we're paying compensation for coaching staff, right? Not coaching staff, sorry. Director of football. I guess is what his role is at Chelsea. We can pay compensation for that. We can't pay compensation for managers. That's weird. But it looks like by the time the season ends, it looks like by the time Potter out, by the time the season ends, that he'll be gone. He'll be done. Which I said, I think it's a real shame. Like the first hurdle. Are we going to do that at every director of football? So Carl McCauley is a recruitment analyst for Chelsea. So he's a recruitment analyst. Why can't and look, that's what he had at Brighton, that analysis, the data. That is really what they've been using. Now we need a lot of the systems and processes we need to nick from Brighton. But we're bringing the data analysis. Why can't he work with Steidten? Steidten seems to be having a role bringing him in. Keep Steidten, bring the data analyst in. Got to make sure I'm able to say that. All right, mate. Ease up on the spamming. Put you in timeout. Put you in the naughty step. Does anyone have confidence now that we can finish top half, even push for 7th? I think it's going to be a stretch. I think we can definitely pull away from the relegation scrap. Now, we are, how many points? 7 points off the bottom 3. We're currently tied on points with Man United. We are 1 point behind Spurs, who are 12th. 4 points behind Brighton, who are on 27 points. They're 11th. I think even top 10 is going to be a real tough job. We're going to have to go on a run. And I don't think we won back-to-back league games all season. Now, that is going to be the chance. Back-to-back win league games. Start there. And this is a good opportunity. With Fulham and Palace coming on, you get 6 points from the next 2 games. I think that's going to put us in a good position. Josiah makes a good point here. Get all our youth back as well. Yeah, look, that's going to be the key. What can we do in the transfer market instead of bringing new players in? And what we can't do, bring the youth back and give them a chance. That's the key. Irish Tommy says we're getting an immediate new manager bounce. We can still finish top 10. It depends how long that bounce lasts for, right? So, yeah, hopefully we look at, like, you earmark 6 points on next 2 games. That puts us on 29 points. Now, we have to hope the teams above us drop, but 29 points could take us 10th. If all the teams, this is a big if, so we're 14th. If teams 13 through 10, which is Brighton, don't win any of their next games, 2 games, and we win our next 2, that puts us 10th. 1 point behind 9th, right? If Fulham don't win any. So, yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility. But this is going to be key as well, because the thing that Potter did, he got wins over the bigger sides while he was at Brighton. We're going to need that. We're massively going to need that. So we've got Fulham, Palace, then Villa away in the league after we've obviously got them in the cup. Then we've got Chelsea. Oh, please, I'm telling you, that Chelsea game, if Graham Potter's West Ham United turn up to Stamford Bridge with the win, we will be feasting. We'll be eating good on that one, honestly. So that will be beautiful. Then we've got Brentford at home and Arsenal away and Leicester. I'm feeling a little bit more positive about this run of fixtures now. Even Arsenal aren't, what they were. I'll know where we're at before we play them, whether I can feel like we can get something or not. But yeah, they're still not going to have Saka back. So it'll be so fun if we still don't play Summerville. Yeah, that is the thing. Do you know what? I'm excited by everything and anything's possible. That's what it is. Right now, we are living in a time of multiple, almost endless possibilities with what West Ham could do. We could be a disaster and get relegated, right? Okay, that is a possibility. Of course, it's a possibility. But we could be brilliant. We could go on a run. It could just click. There's always these chances. And that's what I hope is it comes in and it just works. It clicks and it turns out to be the dream appointment, a match made in heaven. That's what I hope. Now, I've always got to temper that hope because David Sullivan's the owner. So we're always operating with a handicap, right? We will always be operating with a handicap as long as David Sullivan owns us. We're always held back slightly. So yeah, that was what someone said, that Chelsea stopped paying Potter in October. So I believe he's paid up. Yeah. So that's the thing, Graham Potter might actually give our young lads a go, and he's known for that. And we're going to need that. So hopefully he can actually start bringing the best out of them as well. Ollie Scholes, players like that who obviously we've got to see once. So let's see any more new. So we're just waiting for the club to officially announce Potter. That's what it is. But it's done. It's the Potter era has begun, is about to begin. So yeah, but what do we think about getting a recruitment analyst in? Because it's not just about, I think, having the analysis. You need the technology that goes with it. So hopefully it brings the technology, because that's what Brighton have got, this data technology. And that is what we're going to need, I think. It's all about the structure. We need to put structure above Potter. Should have got Potter first thing anyway. I don't know why we gave Loppy a chance. This is the point. This is what is going to look bad on us, right? If he's a success. Why didn't we get Potter in the first place? Why did we not approach Graham Potter? Why did we not try to sign Graham Potter in the first place? Why did we go Lopetegui? What made them think that Lopetegui was a better option than Graham Potter? We look silly. We had the chance and we didn't take it. We got Lopetegui. Why did we get Lopetegui? Why did we? No one thought that was a good idea except Guillem Balag, bloody Lopetegui's best mate and PR bloody merchant. Will Salthouse. Is Lopetegui a Will Salthouse client? Is he linked with him? If he is, I swear I hate that Will Salthouse. I hate him so much. I would love to tell him what I think about him. I'd love him to watch one of them, just know he's watching and just tell him everything I think about him. What do you think of Cornet playing striker under Potter? I can't see it. I mean, the guy needs to learn the offside rule for a start. I don't know, man. Like, Cornet, if he's coming back, he's obviously going to get a look in, right? Potter's going to have a look at everyone. He will have a chance to impress in training and show why he needs to be playing. To me, now playing as a striker, he can play as a striker. So if we need that pace, and you've got a Summerville on the left, you've got Cornet up front, and then like a Kudus on the right. Again, I need to see the formation he's going to play at West Ham, but that could work. He's going to have a chance to prove himself, and that is the key. I think anyone gets a chance, but he's going to take a while to get up to speed, to get that match fitness. That's the thing. A lot of people are confident that he's gonna get a chance, but I think he barely played at. I think it was Southampton he went to, didn't he? So that's the thing. He's gonna get a chance. But the problem is, if we sign a striker, then he can forget about it. If we sign a striker, then Cornet is done. The problem is we're stuck with Cornet. We're stuck with him. So he ain't. At the end of the day, we ain't gonna sell him, so he's gonna be there. Am I excited? Yeah, I'm excited because of the possibilities. I'm not gonna say that he's a definite success. I'm not here like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm cautious about it, but I'm excited about the possibilities, right? I'm excited that we have a chance. So there we go. There was another question. Who would you have appointed? If being honest, at this time, I would have appointed an interim, right? Like a Slaven Bilic till the end of the season. Don't go Mal Slaven Bilic, but I'm saying like as an interim, then looked in the summer and then maybe got the Leipzig manager coach or the Frankfurt coach, something like that. Let's bring Nicky is here. Here he is.
I'm outside the new manager's house.
You're a mute. You sound coming live from Hogwarts. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm outside the new manager's house.
We still can't hear you. Maybe it's me. Oh, sorry, it's me. They can hear you. I can't hear you. There we go.
I can't even see anything.
You can't see anything?
No, look, I'm outside the new manager's house. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. He's at Hogwarts. Nicky's live from Hogwarts. How are you feeling? You happy? Happy chappy?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. If nothing but just to get the guy put out of his misery, to be quite honest with you. I don't think it was good for him. I don't think the situation's been handled right. I don't think the club's done right by anyone here. I bet he couldn't wait to fucking get out there this morning, to be quite honest with you. We knew something was going to happen. We obviously knew 2 days ago something was happening. We reported it reportedly been sacked. Apparently it was done this morning. I don't know how much. Apparently he took training, which I think baffling if he did take training. And then it was done afterwards.
That must have been awkward, innit? That training session.
Yeah, it must have been. It must have been. And this is the thing that pisses me off about the way it's been handled, is that would have been fucking awkward for him. He knows what he's going to walk into. He knows what's going to happen. He knows what's been plotted behind his back. It is literally like saying out of Harry fucking Potter. It's backstabbing and fucking all of that sort of stuff, It must have been absolutely fucking awkward. There'd have been a couple of players there that were training under him for the last time. Now, listen, there's going to be a couple of players that, love the guy and they'll love any manager. But there would have been a couple of them that were sniggering behind his back, to be quite honest with you, because that's, he doesn't seem to have hit it off with all of the squad, which is, I think, is a big issue. It was awkward. It's awkward. It's been handled poorly again. But the saga is over.
And they had to. It was announced they obviously cancelled the press conference, and they also cancelled, which was sad, the player meal. He was going to take him out for a meal as a bonding meal. Remember what I said last week? Take him out for a curry. He listened. He listened to me. He was going to take him out for a curry, and
it was probably like that. Lourdes, he said, take him out for curry. So I'm going to take them out for curry.
Took him out. Then he found out he's getting a sack, and he's had to cancel the curry, which is a shame. But listen, good on him. All the best to him.
To be honest with you, I can just imagine him sitting in a curry house thinking, are they going to turn up or not?
Yeah. I wonder how that meal would have went, like this bonding meal, if it would have solved anything or they would just been awkward. But this is the exciting thing. Now Graham Potter's in. The possibilities are open. Which players are we going to see improve? What are we going to see the better of? Who's he going to play? Who's on his way out? Someone we know, Nick, I was watching a video, James Alcott. He seems to believe that Souček's days could be numbered under Graham Potter. Obviously, he knows his stuff, does his research.
Knows his stats. Old Jim Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are certain players that I think are going to thrive and excel, and there's certain players that are going to struggle in a Potter system. I mean, how do you see it going with the players that we've currently got under a Potter?
It'll be a couple of changes, I believe. I think that I think he's going to want to get a midfielder in. I think that's the first thing he's going to want to get in, and I think he's going to be right too. Who he gets in, I don't know. I'm excited to see. Have they been working for a few days on potential transfer dealings? Has he been sort of sitting down and sort of discussing about who he wants and who he doesn't? We don't know. Souček could suffer under him. I don't think he likes that type of midfielder, which is going to be a shame because I like Tommy Souček. I like Tommy Souček a lot, like in terms of characters. But, his passing ability has been fucking poor. And he's been poor since he's been here. But I do like him, Dan, coming off the bench, getting the odd goal, important goals he's got in his...
Maybe his role changes then. Maybe he plays, we bring him off as a Fellaini-type battering ram, shove him up front in the last 10 minutes when tying legs, or if we want to shore up the back, you put him there as a body off the bench. Maybe he becomes a bench player, an impact sub.
I think that Todibo definitely comes in and I think starts games from now on. I think that the partnership with Kilman is going to have a chance to thrive.
Yeah. Well, it depends on, because shout out to Jamie Havel for the £5 super chat. Thank you very much, mate. He's asking what his first 11 will be and who do you think will thrive. Now, first 11, it's really hard to say because we don't know exactly how he's going to look at the current crop of players and what formation he's going to play. If we assume he plays, I don't know, a 5-4-1 or something like that, or say he plays that back five, he's going to have to play Mavropanos, Kilman, and Todibo, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's what we've got. And then you'll see now the wing back situation. We were talking about this earlier. I think Wan-Bissaka makes perfect sense as your right wing back, left wing back. I think Emerson can definitely play. Played it at Chelsea, makes a good fit. But then what you do with Somerville? I don't think he's necessarily wing back material, but he is a very important player going forward.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he comes in. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to want to make too many changes too quickly. So we may still see like similar formations being played for a while. Until he's got to have a look at what he's got. But I think first of all, he's going to want ball playing midfielders, and we haven't got many of them. We haven't got many of them.
That's where Soler. You talk about who will thrive. I think Soler will thrive.
Soler could thrive, yeah.
And that's the thing. Rodriguez,
or he could go straight back, and we could get someone else back. We could get James Ward-Prowse back. There's a couple of midfielders out on loan as well. Potsy has been thriving apparently.
And that's the thing. He's good with youth. He's got a track record of giving youth a chance, playing youth, and obviously Ferguson, who we're linked with, is an example of that. But to me, if it came between Ward-Prowse and Soler, I think there's a little bit more quality in a Soler than a Ward-Prowse. Taking back.
Rumours going around that we're in the market for this striker, and apparently someone just said there, Gonzo from Hammers Chat. Hello, Gonzo. He's saying that a lot of the delay in negotiations was about transfers. I would say more the length of the contract. I think he's negotiated a 2.5-year contract, which I think is the right thing to do.
We've caved in, which they
we've caved in, and I think Lopetegui takes £3.3 million away with him because that's a year's salary. I think it was a 12-month sort of severance package that he negotiated in his contract, which when you think about it, it's £3 million fucking pounds at the end of the day. It's like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's not the end of the world in terms of the football. It's a lot of money to me and you. If we, I wouldn't want to lose £3.3 million, but in terms of football wise and what we've lost, when you think about, we took a £25 million hit on Hilaire, a £20 million hit on Felipe Anderson, £40 million hit on Felipe Anderson, sorry, and a couple of £1 million loss on Scamacca. you know, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
hold
sort
up,
of
Nick. Jay Burt Telegraph is reported that West Ham hope to sign a striker this week, and it appears the deal had not involved Lopetegui, which would be very surprising if we are signing a striker this week.
I've heard it's a guy called Arbnor Muja.
Is that a joke? Is that one of them pun names?
No. I've heard that's what I've heard.
I was like, you know, like Fukin No One or something like that.
No. I honestly, I've heard it's a guy called Arbnor Muja.
Okay,
but,
Arbnor.
yeah.
I've not heard anything about him. Arbnor Muja.
Yeah, I believe
I've not
that's
even heard that story. Oh, here we go. Muja. Arbnor. Because you never know. So that's going to be interesting. Apparently, so he's not been involved at all, Lopetegui, because they've known they're going to sack him. So they're signing this, which is interesting because it wasn't confirmed we was getting Potter. So we don't even know if this guy plays as a winger. We're talking about the same Arbnor. He's born in 1998. He plays as a winger for Turkish club Samsunspor.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's a rumor going around.
Well, he's not according. Well, this is Wikipedia, to be fair. Arbnor Muja, you spell it Arbnormuja. Arbnor Muja. So we'll see if that is the striker. I would have thought it would have been Evan Ferguson. I know he's injured, but we can still sign him, even though he's injured. It doesn't prevent us from signing him.
And Jamie Havriel said overlap would mention that we're the only club in the Premier League in profit nowhere FFP.
I mean, look, that wouldn't surprise me, but we are acting as if we've got to sell to buy this. That was a noises. Now, I don't know if that is just keep prices down, put that information out there, because if teams know you got money, you haven't got FFP worries, they jack the prices up. I hope so. But now, if Gonzo was right and transfers were part of the negotiations, that he wanted assurances that he would get players in, and he signed, then we could maybe assume that he's getting players in, which we desperately need. So that's the key. But yeah, with that, I mean, expectations-wise, I was talking earlier on before you come on, Nick, about, you know, obviously having to temper our expectations in terms of what we can achieve and where we can finish this season. But what are some of your expectations coming in that you want to see early on from Potter this season? You know, where are your expectations at? Is it just stay up no matter what? Anything else is a bonus, or do you have certain expectations?
I don't think that, you know, when you look at the table down, it's tight. It's tight. And if we listen, we've got a good squad. We've got a good side.
Yeah.
And we're missing Bowen, which could be a massive a massive, you know, miss for Potter in his initial days. But you know, we have got players that under the right management, I think, can thrive. I think Kudus would, you know, last year would have been on a lot of teams' radars. He still is on a lot of teams' radars. Paquetá hasn't, you know, been fantastic this year. You know, Somerville, Championship Player of the Year. I think Fulkrug's got good pedigree. You know, when Bowen comes back, Kilman's got good pedigree. Tadebo's got good pedigree. Emerson's got good pedigree. You know, we've got these players that can do something. If we can start getting a tune out of some of these players, especially the big players, you know what I mean? And I always did say, you know, at the start of the season, it's going to be difficult, but a lot of these players have played together now. We have seen glimpses, small glimpses of what these players can do. Wan-Bissaka, I think, has been fantastic. And if we get something out of half a tune out of half these players, then we could push ourselves up the table. We should not be fearing, and this is the God's honest truth, with the money we spent and you know, the caliber of player we've got, and you know what we've done over the last few years, we shouldn't be fearing going into games like Fulham at home. We shouldn't, or Palace at home. No. You know, even teams which we were. Yeah, we were. That's the thing. You know, there is not there's not a West Ham fan that is around right now that was seeing Lopetegui going into the Fulham game would have been absolutely confident that we were going to beat Fulham. You know, I haven't heard anyone say that we can, you know, beat Fulham. Get some of these players back on side. Get some of these players playing football again, like Kudus, get a tune out of them. You know, we saw glimpses of what Fulkrug could do the other day at Man City. We saw glimpses of what West Ham could do the other day at Man City.
This is the thing, Nick. People were talking about the lack of goals under his time at Brighton, and I was talking about the fact that they created a lot of chances, a very high XG, very low finishing rate, because they didn't have the strikers. We have a full crew, but we haven't created enough clear-cut chances for him. We haven't been feeding. If he can fix that, and the one bit positive I can say about Bowen being injured now is Potter's coming in first day. He knows what he's got. It's not like he's setting up around Bowen and then he loses Bowen and then it's like, right, this other player who hasn't been really playing has to step into his shoes. No, he knows, right, okay, these are the forwards I've got. I'm going to work with them. Once Bowen comes back, that's a bonus. That's a lift. So that is one thing I can say that, you know, isn't the end of the world with a Bowen injured.
What you will get with him, which I didn't find a lot with Lopetegui, is I never felt like we were prepared for games. You know, there's a lot of tinkering in games. You know, if you look at the way we will start brilliant sometimes, and then he'll tinker with it, and then we'll end up shit. Or we'll start shit, and we tinker with it, and we end up all right. You know what I mean? There was a lot of tinkering in game. It did not seem like he prepared in full. People like Potter, who has, you know, traditionally, you know, I can't speak for him right now because, you know, I haven't seen him in a job since he left Chelsea, but. You know, traditionally, he looks at statistics. He looks at, you know, numbers. He looks at, you know, the science behind the.
Which is why apparently we're rumored to be bringing, according to Knees Up Brother Brown, trying to get the analysis from Chelsea. That Potter works with. Again, I take that with a grain of salt because it's from Knees Up Brother Brown. But that's the. Let me just block this.
My name is Nicky and I'm a cheese melt.
Oh yeah, he's just been making new accounts and then like spamming. This is interesting. This stat here, DR Sports have posted, really just it hits home the fact of how ridiculous it was to appoint Lopetegui in the first place. So these are each club, how many games he lasted for each team. So Sporting 78 games, Spain 20 games. Real Madrid, 14 games. Sevilla, 170 games, his highest one. Wolves, 27 games. And now West Ham, 22 games. And that's obviously league games. So the fact that he didn't really have a track record of really spending time building things at any club shows you like how mad we were to sign him in the first place to be the head of our new project. We're starting a new project with a guy that doesn't last in teams. It's a madness. Highlights it even more, you know. So yeah, we'll see. People was asking about Cornet under Potter. I don't know what your feelings are. I think he's going to get a new chance. He's going to get a fresh slate, but I just don't know. He's got the legs anymore for it. I don't know if he's got it in him.
I mean, I think everyone, if he has to come back, I think he's going to get a chance on the training ground. Whether he's going to see the pitch or not, I don't know. You know, but you know, this is the thing. This is why you get a new manager bounce so often, because everyone will now start putting in. You know, it's a fresh slate. There is no more favourites. There is no more. This team picks itself. You know, you don't know.
And there's no hiding, Nick.
There's no hiding. Yeah, exactly. You can't coast and go on previous training sessions or matches or whatever. You know, this guy is going to come in and start judging everyone as it is. You know, he will develop his, you know, tactics, and he'll pick players around his tactics. Again, because of the nature of the man, he is statistically driven. So, you know, he's not going to look at, oh well, you know, Paquetá can do this, they'll do that. He look at, well, you know, Andy Irvine played more through balls than, you know, Paquetá. He should be playing. That's the way he's driven. That's the way he drives his football teams. You know, you know, and there will be times when, you know, you might get the odd, you know, you might see someone that you might think, oh my God, he's not starting, and you know, and someone else starting in their place that you wouldn't, you know, Guilherme. And I see a couple of people.
That's what I was excited about. People are talking in the chat. Guilherme, young player, promise. I'm excited to see Guilherme under Potter, what you can unlock.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, just on Steidten, there's reports that Steidten could be gone by the end of the season. He could walk away this window. When you look at it, I mean, how do you feel about Tim Steidten and his time at West Ham?
Do you know what? I saw something earlier on that really made me start to think. Now, I think Tim Steidten's been great because he took the transfers away from Sullivan. I think he's signed some good players. I think he's signed some really high caliber players. I obviously think he's got good stock. But somebody did say to me yesterday or today, whatever it was, that this is the second manager now that has asked him to not come to the training ground. There's obviously a problem now in terms of...
The problem is it's what they said was conflicts of interest. So the problem
conflicts
is...
of interest, yeah, obviously.
This geezer is looking to replace you. You don't want him around because he's looking to replace you.
I understand, yeah, but apparently, like he was requested to stay away from by the manager. He was also requested to stay away by Moyes, and that was pretty early on in his tenure. This is the second one that's asked for him to stay away from the training ground. I understand it's conflict of interest, and I understand it's always going to be difficult. But then, if the guy is that deep involved in the process of picking and choosing a manager, why has he got a fucking office at the training ground? Get him an office somewhere else. Give him a home office. He shouldn't have to go into the training ground if it's that deep, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's an element that he probably needs to see, train, and have an insight into what our deficiencies are, what our needs are. Some maybe not like you said, having an office there is one thing. But I was saying earlier on, I think with Moyes wouldn't have worked with any director. It would have been the same whether it had been an Ashworth, an Edu, because Moyes was a manager. He didn't believe in working with a director of football. It would always never worked. Lopetegui, I don't think he wanted Lopetegui. We were speaking to someone, Nick, who sort of confirmed that to us when we was at Stratford. And I think that was clear. Amorim was the guy. So you've got two managers, one that in a Moyes that he probably thinks we need to move on from and try and progress and play better. And then the second one who Sullivan went over his head and got him anyway. And Steidten's been pushing for a change.
I've heard through the grapevine and some pretty solid sources as well. I have got some solid sources, believe it or not, and I don't use them that often. But at the time when the manager was coming in, Lopetegui was nowhere near the first choice. They'd already seen about 5 or 6 people before him. And so he didn't really have faith in him to begin with. And then he knows he's like earlier on, he's trying to push for him to be sacked like months ago. So of course there's a conflict of interest of, well, you don't believe in me and the job I'm doing. Well, if you've got that attitude, I don't want you around the dressing room. But maybe if we actually trust the geezer and actually just you put him in the role, right? You pick the manager, you pick the players. That's your job. If it all goes wrong, we know that you're responsible, so you can take the responsibility of that. We can sack you. You're accountable. But we don't. It's always, well, this is a Steidten signing, this is a Sullivan signing, this is a Loppe signing, this is a Moyes signing. Well, I also know through the sources from back then is that the same sort of stuff that happened to Lopetegui now with the interviewing in a minute. Listen, I understand that it has to be sorted out. It doesn't have to come out, you know. And to be fair, it didn't really come out under Moyes. But I do know that they'd interviewed them 5-6 managers before the Brighton game last year. I believe it was Brighton.
What do you think about the goalkeeper coach hanging around for 7 years, Xavi Valero, since brought in by Pellegrini, and he's just survived all of these?
I wonder if he's just hiding.
That's what I thought. I don't know. I was saying,
I'm wondering if the new manager comes in and he just turns up.
You ever seen that film Office Space with the specky geezer?
Yeah.
And he's just there, like, and they've quietly sacked him, but no one's told him, and he just shows up. But yeah, Jace has got a question. Dan, will we see some of Potter's style at the Villa match? It's going to be so because he's looking to take training before the game. He's looking to be in the dugout.
I like that as well. I like that. I like the fact that he wants. He's not turning around and going, right, I'm taking this game over. Oh, there's a big game Friday. That could be a bad fucking start. Villa away Friday night. No time with the team. You know, I don't want my turn. I like the fact that he's turned around and went, no, let's go. Let's fucking go and let's get on that training ground and let's try at least, and make an impact straight away. I like that. He could have easily turned around and went, no, let Kevin Keane take it, let fucking Mark Noble take it. Could have done any of that, but he didn't. He turned around and said, no, let's fucking get on that training pitch and let's go. Will he be in charge of Villa? I don't know. Apparently he wants to be. So
yeah, which is good. But then in terms of getting his style of play across, that's going to be interesting how much he can do. Now you look at someone like Slot, right? He sort of incorporated a lot from Klopp, who was successful. Now, if he goes, right, we're going to stick with what Lopetegui was doing just for this game, we're not going to change things up too much, then that wasn't successful. So I think if he just has maybe a back to basics type approach for this game, don't ask people to do anything too crazy, too out of comfort zones that you have to drill and train in. Maybe that's what we do for this game. So I don't think we'll get to really see Potter ball.
Do you know what I'm excited about though, Dan? And this is going forward. This is something different. This is something a lot different to what we're used to. This is something different. This is a new direction. This is a new direction, regardless of whether you want to, excited about it or not excited about it. This is a new direction. And Potter, a couple of years ago, I mean, Chelsea, with all their fucking, listen, I know they go through managers like fucking, I go through chocolates on the stream normally, but they don't pick mugs. So he was highly rated at one point. The same as Nuno Espirito Santos at when Tottenham, he was highly rated. He took a bad job. It didn't work out for him now. Look at him now. Unai Emery's the same. Unai Emery is exactly the same. Took a big job, didn't quite work out for him at Arsenal. He's not a bad manager, just means he made a bad choice of club. It doesn't. So this could be a match made in heaven. This could be, our new Santos, our new Unai Emery. We're just
going to look, if it is successful. Listen, we probably won't be complaining too much, but we're going to be thinking as well. We're going to look silly because why don't we appoint him in the summer? Why did we go for Lopetegui over Potter?
He might not, but again, Dan, somebody said then Chelsea only stopped paying him in October.
Yeah, but
why go for a job that's going to risk your fucking job, the money that you're getting already, when you could be out of a job by now?
But then how does that work? Of like, you take a job, because like I said, so many managers do it. They jump from job to job. I never hear about so if Lopetegui takes a job over the next 18 months, we'd have to pay him the 3.3 mil.
Funny enough, somebody said to me, Nicky, you going Friday? No, I'm not. Which is going to be fucking gutting, to be quite honest with you, because I really wanted to be there for the new manager. But I have got a prior engagement. I thought the engagement was next week, and it isn't. It's this week, so I'm not going to be able to make it. I was fully going as well. Fully going, but yeah.
But I'll tell you what, that Fulham game now, me and you talked the other day. Imagine if Lopetegui stays in charge for the Fulham game, what it would be like. Now we know Potter's going to be in charge for the Fulham game. Just the atmosphere around the
vibrant.
Dark cloud lifted over the stadium. People will go. There were people that were looking to give their tickets away, will probably still go. Just to see something different. The excitement of the possibilities of, what could happen? We could lose. I
think Robert says Nicky didn't go to the Newcastle game could be a sign. Yeah, I mean, them fucking midweek ones up north. I will be going to Wolves, by the way. But them midweek ones up north, they're tough to get to, man. Like, even if you don't, if
remember how we played at the Newcastle game. So if you don't go to the Villa game, and we win, we're taking away your away tickets. We're taking away your away tickets.
Going completely. I'm looking for more chocolates, by the way. So we're going to start wrapping this up.
He's one on you in chocolates.
I don't know, but people, do you know what it is, Dan, right? People keep on bringing in Christmas stuff. The Christmas stuff's obviously gone on sale now, right? So you can buy all this shit for really cheap, right? I'm going to show you what I've got, right? Somebody's bought this in.
What is that? Rocky Road's
Christmas pudding kit.
Right. And what,
so no idea how you make that, but I'm just looking in the bag. But wait there. Wait to see what we've got here.
This is why I don't want Ashworth, by the way. This is why just get Ashworth, stay away. What is that? Big box, big pink box.
Big box, yeah.
A new manager celebration cake. Oh, right, loads of sweets. Well, you know what? You should open a sweet stall up at West Ham. Bring the sweet stall back.
Yeah, look, a whole box of fucking Percy pigs that have been sent to my house.
I don't like Percy pigs. Not a fan.
So I might be munching on the sweets for a little while yet, Dan. I'm afraid.
There you go. Bring them to Fulham. That'll be your match day snack.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone's asked about. Let's see. Any chance Ward-Prowse? We can spark Ward-Prowse's career again, Nick Dan. Make him like a David Beckham role at Manchester, whipping in crosses. And that'd be a nice thought, wouldn't it? I'd love him to just come back and score a free kick, for crying out loud. How was Danny Ings scored a free kick for West Ham before bloody Ward-Prowse? Just scored a free kick. Yeah, so look, he's going to get a chance, and that is the good thing about it. He can press. He has that ability. So, yeah, I want him to come back and get an opportunity and just see what we've got. Have as many options for Potter that he can look at what he's got and build the team that is best going to suit how he wants to play in his identity. And I'm glad this is kind of like, you know, as long as we don't get relegated, this is like an extended preseason, but with actual competitive games, because this is setting him up for next season when he gets a summer window to really, you know, build this one. Now he gets a January as well. They wouldn't have got it for wait to the end of the season, and he gets a summer. So by the time, you know, next season rolls around, he's going to have every tool, and he'll get a proper preseason. He's going to have all the tools that he needs now to put us in a good situation for next season where we can really judge.
Saw your video after the Man City game. How many miles do you have to your car, Nicky? To be fair, it's a new car. Just bought that car, so not many on that one. But over the years, mate, many miles. Many miles. Believe me, many miles. Do you know what? I'll have to.
Chris, that's bad luck.
This year is 10 years of West Ham Fan TV, and we're going to do like a little feature, I think, very soon.
Yeah, we should actually finally do that event we've always talked about.
Yeah. We are going to do the event at the end of the season. So towards the end of the season, we're probably going to be looking back at the 10 years of West Ham Fan TV. A lot younger, some of us a lot fatter, some of us a lot thinner. But yeah, it'd be nice to look back and maybe get some of the boys, the original boys, back in the room to start reacting to things that we said 10 years ago, or things that we've, you know, classic moments and all that sort of thing. And I might do a little feature where I add up the miles that we've travelled over the years. So
good luck with that one.
Good luck with that. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so do you think we have an option to bring Potts back in January? I believe we have the option. Last thing I heard was that we're not going to exercise it. But again, if Potter comes in and goes, I want him to be part of what I'm doing, I've got a role for him, we'll exercise it if the option's there. But I believe we do have an option. Fuego says, Lawless, Brighton fans say Tony Bloom uses AI algorithms for scouting, because that was the big thing about their technology. And I don't think he took their technology with him to Chelsea. And that's what Brighton fans hail, is Tony Bloom and his technology is a big part of their success. AI algorithms. That is interesting.
It's probably, at that time, Dan, it's probably revolutionary. I mean, AI has been used for so many things now. You know, I'm constantly getting sold on things. AI to do the thumbnails for the for the YouTube now. AI to do the to do the descriptions. AI to do the subtitles. AI to translate it into French. AI to to fucking look at the algorithms and all that. AI's come in, and it's going to take over the fucking world. This is Terminator Salvation shit, man. This is what this is. AI is going to take over the world. So when he was implementing that back in the in the Brighton days, which was only a few years ago, it's probably fucking top of the range stuff.
Yeah. So look, we just have to see what we can come and do and what we can implement. But again, we've got Sullivan. This is a good point from Schenken. I think that's how you say it. If it can be done with Chris Woods and Danny Welbeck, it can also happen with Danny Ings. That is a great point. Danny Welbeck is still banging in goals now. He's been sort of, and Chris Woods. Who would have thought Chris Woods would be having the season of his life? So yeah, you're right. We could see a revitalized Danny Ings. There's a report here from the Guardian says Graham Potter's contract at West Ham will be a straight 2.5-year deal. It won't include any break clauses or targets needing to be hit for an automatic extension. Potter has been given the exact contract he requested from the club, so no compromise. They completely folded and caved into Graham Potter's demands. I think part of that was the emergence of Everton showing interest. I think that probably weakened our bargaining power. But listen, I'm not mad at that. That's a normal deal. You can't always have to put these, deals and things in.
Question. Let's take a couple of questions before we start wrapping up. Would you rather try bringing in Evan Ferguson or Liam Delap? Connor, we said this yesterday, mate. Liam Delap is not happening. He is just signed for Ipswich for 20 million quid. They're not going to be selling him anytime soon. The only time you're going to end up getting anywhere near Liam Delap would be in the summer if they go down.
Whether they just signed him or not, or he'd been there for 5 years, we wouldn't have got him this January.
No.
Sure. And the competition for him in the summer is going to be huge. So Ferguson, injury prone, but look, if that's what we can get, take him on loan. He's worked with Potter. I'm not mad at it, but we need to really see what we can get. It's going to be very hard for us to get in the striker we need. I don't want us to splash big on a striker that's just available now, that we can get in January, then save money and get the best possible one in the summer where we can have more time. So if we have to get a loan in for now, we get a loan in and then go. Trust Potter's talent ID, knows ballers. I hope that's right, because Sullivan does not know ballers. That is true. That is very, very true. Monaco want Alvarez on loan, breaking. We'd be mad. We'd be absolutely
on loan unless he's got players lined up now.
Fabrizio Romano, AS Monaco have approached West Ham asking for Edson Alvarez. Why would we loan him? Like, not even a sale. Like, if they was coming in going, right, we'll give you 20 mil for Alvarez, then you go, we have to think about that one. A loan for Alvarez.
Look how many people got out on loan. Cornet, James Ward-Prowse, Aguirre, Zuma.
Yeah, which we're talking about bringing back. So this is it. AS Monaco have approached West Ham to discuss conditions to bring Edson Alvarez to the club on loan. It'd be an opportunity for the player to return in Champions League and to be a key part of Monaco's project. Not an easy deal with West Ham, but contacts have started. There's no benefit to us unless we believe that he can go there, like with Aguirre, and be so brilliant that it brings a lot of money. But he's gonna play football, because who's the alternative? Rodriguez, or you play Souček as a DM, which is kind of more of a DM. And I don't want to see Ward-Prowse played back as a DM either. There's no upside to that. He's not been at his best, but he's identified Alvarez. Yeah, I've not been playing well. I've not been playing to the standards I can. I need to improve. So at least he's acknowledged that. We know what he's capable of. He may not have the legs, but for now, unless we replace him, there's just no benefit to letting him go on loan.
No, there is none. There is none.
So I'm hoping contacts have started, but I hope that's a non-starter.
Big shout out to Back of the Nest, by the way, Dan's mate over at the Crystal Palace channel, who spent 2 days telling us we was getting Steve Cooper.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He was in the chat earlier, and he's gutted with let Lopetegui go. And he's like, oh, well, at least get him my bad. Because I said to him, he called Lopetegui a weak manager, so he wanted me to apologise for arguing with him. I said he wasn't a manager, he's a coach. He's a weak coach, so he was wrong on that front.
And they got us next week as well, so he's going to be gutted.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to smash them with Potter, the Brighton guy. Alvarez is recovering from an injury. Think he'll come good again. Yeah, listen, like a lot of these players, there's so many of these players that we once rated in this side. You don't just switch a light and then you become a bad player. There's obviously talent there. It's all going to be about how he fits into what Potter is trying to do. But at the end of the day, he's a defensive midfielder. We haven't got many of them that are any good. So, again, they want to bring in this box-to-box defensive midfielder. That's the thing. Now, Drewsbury Hall. Didn't they just sign him, Chelsea?
I think they have, yeah. It might be on loan.
So it could be on loan. He was highly rated when they signed him. It just
Wasn't it
hasn't
him
worked out.
and Chukawara? Was it his name Chukawara?
Chukawara?
What is his name? What's his name?
Yeah. Chuka.
Chukwuemeka. I can't fucking really.
Yeah, Chuka. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, I know you're talking about. Dewsbury Hall. Yeah, if it's a loan deal, then yeah, Chukwuemeka. That's it.
Chukwuemeka. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it on loan. It's just one of them things with these loans of clubs where you feel like they're going to want to keep the player. I hate that. You know, you get attached to a loan player and then they go back. But I mean, he's played 5 games this season for Chelsea, so he hasn't got much of a look in. He's 26. He's not exactly a youth player either. So yeah, central midfielder. He come in. We've got
Dewsbury Hall sounds like a wedding venue. I think it sounds like
it does.
I think it sounds like something that fucking the Toad of Toad Hall would fucking live in, like the Badger or something.
Yeah,
lives in Dewsbury Hall.
What happened to Rodriguez? Is he going? If we can find a buyer for him, I think there's a good chance. But again, I guess it's going to come down to Potter having a look at these players and seeing what he's got. And
now this I'm behind.
Jack Grealish.
I'd love Jack Grealish.
Listen, I hated him when he played for Villa. But yeah, us,
that boy's got talent, mate.
You put him in a Graham Potter side. Yeah, listen, I think that'd be great. How much they'd want for him? Look, they paid £100 million from him. They're not going to get anywhere near that. Not going to recoup anywhere near that. But
I've got a feeling he might end up back at Villa. Grealish. That would make perfect.
I don't know. Like, I feel like the bridges have been kind of burned with the fans.
I don't think so.
And it's a case of if they see they need
him. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because isn't Rogers playing on the left wing, who's been brilliant for them.
Really well.
And then they've got options there. So we've obviously got Somerville, but he's not cemented down like, oh yeah, you're not going to play over 40 mil. Playing 40 mil for Grealish?
Yeah. How old's he?
He's got to be like 27, isn't he, Jack Grealish? I reckon he's around that. You reckon?
Yeah.
29. Bloody hell. That time goes. 29.
So. 30 will take him.
It's a risk. And I'm kind of burned by Calvin Phillips because he was really good before they signed him at Man City and it didn't work out. Grealish, he spent a lot of time there and he's regressed and 1 assist in a year of football playing with some of the best players in the world.
I remember we got linked with him when he was about 19, 20.
Yeah.
He was...
we were, yeah.
Yeah, he was the bad boy of Villa at the time. He was one of them players where they didn't think he was going to make it because of the fucking trouble he used to get himself in. And I remember us was saying that we'd take him. He's one of these players that when they was back in the Premier League, he sort of burst on the scene. And then he went down to the Championship with them. And there was a lot of suitors. I think Spurs were one. I think we were one.
Yeah.
But he was one of them.
Spurs had a chance to sign him for 30 mil. Yeah, he was going for 30 mil.
He was a lot of trouble as a kid, and there was a lot of people saying that
I'd take him on loan, but the state that Man City are in, I don't think that's going to be a possibility. If they were stable, if Man City were up there where they wanted to be and everything was ticking, but I think that it's a case of they need all hands on deck at the moment. So with our, even though he's not really contributing a whole lot, I don't think they'll let him go. So yeah, I don't remember agreeing to this, Steve. Dan, you haven't had a cup of tea. PG, you said if Loppy was sacked, I need the date and time.
Tea,
I don't like tea. I don't drink tea.
I don't
drink hot drinks. I don't drink any hot drinks.
When are you? I don't drink tea.
What is it, tea? Yeah. I'm not about tea. You know what I mean? Or coffee. Tea, coffee, anything. If it's a hot drink.
I don't have many. Don't get me wrong, but when I have a cup of tea, I drink the whole cup of tea. I like the cup of tea.
Yeah, I don't.
Right, should we start wrapping up then, Daniel?
Yes. So hold up. Let me do one last sweep for any breaking news while we're here. because you know what I mean. Otherwise, we'll have to fire back up the machine. Yeah, a lot of everyone's pushing around the fact that we hope to sign a striker this week.
If it does get announced anytime soon, we will be here. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll like I said, we're gonna be on top of it all now.
We might even try and entice someone else to come on.
Oh. There we go. We'll probably might come back. We're going to be looking for the official announcement. I feel like the official announcement for Potter is going to be tomorrow now.
It'll be a 9 a.m. jobby.
Yeah, I think.
Although they have announced that he was sacked, haven't they? The club have announced that he was sacked.
Yes, it's officially. So Lopetegui's officially been sacked. Potter hasn't been officially announced, but it's done. I think they're doing all the press and. Do you know what? I hope they don't go too over the top with this announcement. Do you know what I mean? Like with the way the season's gone, and you're doing a flashy announcement, just announce it. I want to see like some, grime music and like flashy lights and all of that, and he's here and all of that.
I mean, they got if they don't have him flying on a fucking broomstick, then they've missed a fucking.
Could you imagine this grown man? Sorry, can you just put this broomstick between your legs, please, Graham? And we'll put
mate, I went to the Harry Potter world. They can do it on the CGI. If all they've got to do is shoot him up to that fucking studio, get him on that broomstick, and they've got a green screen version of him on a broomstick. So how they done it in the films.
Yeah, I know that. But bloody hell, like, can you imagine?
Did you see the breaking news? It's not the corner flag anymore. Yeah,
I was really disappointed about that. I thought that was. As Daesh would say, utter woke nonsense. you got to have the corner flag. You got to have the corner flag in there. So I was disappointed by that. But yeah, so like I said,
podcast. We need to catch up. We need to get you on our show, mate. I'm available. Just tell me when. Just tell me when you want me, and I'll be there.
Don't you want me? You can't believe it. Yeah,
Ryan is. We get this every day. Ryan will be back very, very soon. I promise you, he's going to cut. He'll be back soon. But I think people are starting to think that we've killed him.
Yeah, where is he? This is the thing, like, because we do this and we have to have this isn't just our life. Like, we don't do this as our full-time job, so it makes it. We got to balance a lot of life and jobs and all sorts. So it makes it difficult. And yeah, everyone's like, "Where's Dom? Dom's he's got a new job basically, and he can't do it because of his job.
Dom's not coming back.
Yeah, we see Dom often. Dom's behind the camera, behind the scenes. We always see him, but he can't.
You come to the games, you'll see Dom. You'll see Dom with us. He was in the car with us, but he's not coming back on the camera.
Yeah. No, I don't have kids. I don't have kids, mate. So yeah. I'm not, I don't qualify. But yeah, so listen, like I said, we're going to be on top of things. At the end of the day, all the possibilities are open. So let's just be excited. It could blow up in our face and be a disaster, but in this moment, anything can happen. So let's be excited.
Ryan's on trying to get his own special license plate. Listen, Ryan had a fucking private number plate long before I had a private number plate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, good stuff. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you. And as soon as it gets announced, we will be back.
Yes,
we will be back.
That's it. Busy January on this channel. So do stick with us, and we're going to be covering transfers. We can look forward to transfers. Remember, the transfer window is open, so we can actually be covering. Players.
Do you know what I don't like about the transfer window? This is God's honest truth. Before we go, we've got a game Friday and a game Tuesday. When the fuck are you meant to get these transfers done?
Yeah, it's January. It's too packed. It's too packed in. Thankfully, I'd say thankfully we're at the Carabao. I would like to still be in it, but that'd be more games. So let's see what happens. Big sigh of relief. Let's get some bloody players in now. So yeah, thank you all for watching. And a big one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
Wingardium Leviosa.